Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberal Realm podcast. I'm Renaldo McKenzie, and of course, with me is Dante Nelson, our co producer. But I was editing the Neoliberal Corporation's website. I was doing some work on our website because I sat down with Dante and I was telling him when you start a business or a company or whatever effort you are doing, the first thing you want to do is to establish a presence, establish integrity, and develop reputation. Those three things are very important. You need reputation, you need integrity, and you need presence. And the first 2, 3 years, especially if you don't have money and you don't have operating capital, you will have to spend a lot of time developing reputation, establishing integrity, and expanding your network and doing some networking to develop presence. But that's not what this episode is about. So I was doing that because I was talking about the importance of part of the one of the ways you develop your presence is in this digitized and technological world is through having a website. Having a website is very important. It's part of establishing or developing presence. That's very important, especially if you're going to branding is important. You brand and part and that this all of this is part of branding. But this is not what this episode is about today. The episode is entitled "The Secrets to Unlocking Divine Intervention." The Secrets to Unlocking Divine Intervention, rough draft. And this is available in the Neoliberal Around More magazine website. Right at the bottom of the page, you go to the neoliberal.com and you go to the scroll down to the bottom. It says you may have missed this because this is part. I wrote this several months ago, but many people never got the chance to probably hear me read this, or you might not have gotten the chance to peruse this. But this is a very important um, piece of writing, and it says it's about unlocking divine intervention, unveiling the secrets. And I begin by saying this. In a world where sharing knowledge is essential, I have embarked on writing this book, which I'm writing a book, of course. This is part of a book that I'm writing to share my personal experiences and insights that have proven transformative as a former pastor, theologian. Well, I'm a theologian, but I'm as a former pastor and an individual who has witnessed and heard stories about the divine intervening in people's lives. I felt compelled to break the doubt surrounding the efficacy of prayer and the reality of divine intervention. Let me introduce the topic or this book what I'm writing. This whole idea of unlocking divine intervention. Unlocking divine intervention in our human affairs is not a secret waiting to be discovered. It is not a secret waiting to be discovered. Rather, it should be second nature to us. We have an abundance of signs information, stories, and evidence that illuminate the means and ways of accessing God's help. In this book, which I'm writing, I will share personal stories and delve into 10 important factors to consider when seeking divine intervention. Now, chapter 1, I will share a powerful encounter. Allow me to recount a story shared by my uncle, Bishop the Reverend Lipton McKenzie, who is senior pastor of the or bishop of the National Church of God. While walking down Musgrave Street or Musgrave Road in Germantown, Philadelphia, I found myself troubled by financial constraints that were impeding the growth of my company and book marketing endeavors. Seeking solace, I prayed while enjoying a cup of coffee. Coincidentally, I encountered an older lady whom I had previously informed about my book and acceptance at Georgetown. She expressed her joy at seeing me and inquired about my progress. I proudly showcased my book on Amazon and she embraced me warmly. Now, during our conversation, she revealed that her son, who is a contributor now at the neoliberal journals, her son, an unemployed and shy graduate in English, was working on a book and required support. Intrigued by his circumstances, I shared my desire to learn and invest in young individuals within local communities. We exchanged numbers, prayed together, and departed, leaving me encouraged. Now, chapter 2, a divine nudge. A divine nudge. As I continued my journey, a sense of unease overshadowed me. I pondered how I could provide employment and support to this young man. Lost in contemplation, I reached True Avenue and settled upon a stone. Engaging in prayer, I suddenly heard a voice within me suggesting that I contact my uncle, Lipton, Bishop Lipton, who passed who possessed business experience and could offer guidance. The idea resonated with me, and despite my wariness, I decided to make the call. I had not spoken to him in a while, and the sense of guilt accompanied my hesitation. However, to my surprise, he greeted me joyfully, congratulating me on my book and expressing pride in my accomplishments. This conversation led to laughter and then engaging discussion about the book. He even requested a hard copy for himself, a hardcover copy, that is, not a hardcover, a hardcover copy for himself, which I promised to provide, and I actually provided. At the time, it was never my plan to to have a hardcover copy of the book. I never thought about that. But then he said he wanted his copy. He wanted a hardcover copy of the book, and I'm saying, I and I agreed that I would do that. So we agreed to meet in Florida for his convention in June, where I would discuss the book and conduct the book signing. Um, Now, chapter 3, an important revelation. And by the way, the book was never meant to be in hardcover, but now it's in hardcover, and I prefer the hardcover, but although the paperback is just as good.
Yes, I love that hardcover as well.
Chapter, but chapter 3, I talk about an important revelation. Now, during our conversation, I shared with my uncle how God had remarkably blessed my life. I recounted an incident where God answered a prayer within 5 minutes of its utterance. Intrigued by my experience, my uncle proceeded to share an impactful story with me, a story that I feel compelled to share with you. And by the way, I deliberately am not sharing that story. In the full book that I'm going to write, you will hear the full story of that prayer that I prayed, and in 5 minutes I got an answer. But let's share this other story, a story I feel compelled to share with you. At the time when my uncle's business, McKenzie Financial Inc., a debt default management company in Florida, was struggling, he just before COVID, he fervently sought God's assistance. I personally witnessed this struggle when I briefly worked as a consultant for his company in 2015. We joined in collective prayers, seeking divine provision for the business. However, a prayerful individual approached him with a message from God suggesting that he should sell the company and detach himself from it. Initially, now that was several months after we've been praying and praying and so on. But initially, this proposition seemed perplexing. But my uncle decided to heed the advice. Little did we know that soon after he did this, sold the business, the world would be hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. In hindsight, selling the company turned out to be a fortuitous decision. It allowed my uncle to avert further losses that would have been inevitable had he continued to operate during the pandemic. While we prayed for God to save the company, he was praying, he was preparing us. Sorry, let me say that again. While we prayed for God to save the company, he was preparing us for something greater that we couldn't foresee.
Yes.
By relinquishing control, my uncle navigated the turbulent times with minimal losses compared to countless other businesses that suffered tremendous financial setbacks or were forced to shut down as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. In conclusion, as you seek divine intervention, and this is not the conclusion because this is just a rough draft of the book that I'm working on, another book. As you know, I'm a writer, and God has blessed me with content. God has inspired me, and so I write.
Yeah.
But
And yes, you're giving us an abstract of your book, but I love the way that you I love the way that it's broken down.
but um but as
And
you but let me end by saying, as you seek divine intervention, it is crucial to understand that God's plans aren't often far reaching and beyond our comprehension. He operates in ways that transcend, yet nevertheless he operates, and I should and that I apologize, I said I should he or she God operates in ways that transcend our limited perspective. And there are people prefer to say gods. God, whether you say gods or God, Allah or Elohim, whatever you say, whatever the divine, whatever faith experience you have, however that the ultimate of all thing operates in your life. He or she operates in ways that transcend our limited perspective, constantly working towards outcomes that exceed our expectations. This book, Secrets to Unlocking Divine Intervention, by yours truly, Renaldo McKenzie, will delve into 10 secrets or points that can aid you, us, in unlocking the divine intervention we seek. Remember, I have chosen to draw from my Christian experience, but I respect and appreciate all religious and spiritual perspectives. Together, let us embark on this journey of discovering the incredible power of divine intervention. And that's it.
I can't wait for this book to come out. I really cannot wait for this book to come out.
There is a part two, and it's actually in. I was working on that too. I realized I actually have done three different takes of this. This was the first. I've actually done one, two, three, four already. But I'm not finished. I'm working on this book. That I'm working on power, privilege, status, and that one. And of course, I'm also working on the academic journal towards developing a cabin academic thought. But I prayed some time ago, and I said, God, please give me content,
Yeah.
and He has given me a lot. The reason why I have not moved to publishing any other book, I'm waiting on Haymarket with that book that the manuscript I've submitted, which I have actually edited. Um, but uh, but that's it for now for the Neoliberal Realm podcast. Stay tuned. Actually, later on today we will have the premiere of part one of the Caribbean Thought summer semester. It was quite powerful. It was quite powerful. And then on Monday, we have the UIHS presenting. We will actually do a press release right here on the podcast, and we actually did a press release already. But they are presenting on Monday at the Jamaica Theological Seminary. We will carry that for you. It won't be live; it will be delayed, but we will record it for you. Some of you, if you have the link, you can participate. But we can, I think we only have a limit of 100 persons. We can't have more than 100 persons, but it will be a first on a first come first base. We only have room for about 70 people, because we have about 25 people in the class. This is the Neoliberal Round. Please, we are doing a book fund campaign. We're trying to raise, I am doing a book fund campaign. I'm trying to raise up to $49,000. We are having difficulty raising the capital, so we are going to raise the capital by asking you to work to join us, donate to us, so that we can raise the funds we need. And what if you raise and if you give over $100, you'll get a free promotional copy of the book. You'll get a signed copy of the book, and you'll also get a copy of our audiobook. Um, that's if you give over $100. The first 10 persons that give over $100, we get a signed copy of the book and also a free audio promotional copy of the book for review purposes. Please email us at info@theneoliberal.com, or yours truly, Renaldo McKenzie, Renaldo C. McKenzie at gmail.com. Send us a voice message. Follow me on Twitter, Renaldo McKenzie without the Y and McKenzie without the A. And please let us know how we're doing. Participate in the feedback in the community page. We're available in over 30 countries and over 10 or 12 platforms. iHeartRadio, the Audible, Spotify, Amazon Music, P Adverb, so on and so forth. Did we say Amazon Music?
Yes, there's so many more.
Anchor.fm now Spotify for podcasters. This is the Neoliberal Round podcast. Please support us by going to anchor.fm/the neoliberal/support. And please, when you pray, don't pray sleeping.
Sleeping.
When you dream, don't dream sitting. I apologize. When you pray, don't pray sitting. When you dream, don't dream sleeping. Believe and have faith, but stay away from the naysayers. Get a copy of the book Neoliberalism, available right here at the Neoliberal. Go to our web, go to renaldocmckenzie.com or the neoliberal.com, or you can go to our Neoliberal store. It's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. But if you need a signed copy of the book, we have it in house. Get it from us.
Yes, guys, support us.
What good?